All right. Thanks everyone for joining to this event that we usually host, as Ovidio just said, during the summer in a nice setting with some canapes. This year, this is not possible, unfortunately. I think we have a wonderful topic today: electronic trading, which is certainly far more than cryptocurrencies, etc., which usually draws a lot of interest. But let's see what the panel brings. I would like to say thank you for Luis for taking a presentation, but of course also Laurent and Stefan for joining later at the panel, and thank you, Video, for organizing this. As said, it's a very different setting. I think we all have experienced differently, but also very commonly what the last 18, 20 months have brought. From a working perspective, yeah, I would say we got used to this, if we like it or not. It's the way we have to deal with the pandemic. Hopefully, as already mentioned by Ovidio, we soon will meet in person again, potentially already in November. I'm actually traveling in 3 weeks to Romania the first time. I'm fully vaccinated. It's a green country still, so it should be easy to be there. I will be there for a week, and I'm really looking forward. It's been nearly 2 years now since I haven't been there. Yeah, then I would like, yeah, what should I say? We have 2 minutes and I have 10 minutes to talk. Usually there would be nice topics, but I don't want to reference the pandemic anymore because I think we all had enough of that. Another very important point I would like to raise is, of course, the importance of Cluj, and also a very important fact that Cluj, in terms of flow traders, was always working from home, so to say. Everything was distant. People had usually to use video conferencing tools, as we all got used to. And of course, there was a major benefit of being able to travel once in a while and meet colleagues in person. I think that's what we may all miss the most. Nevertheless, I think platforms do offer a lot of possibilities to still communicate, while different but still intensive. And yeah, let's see how this will be today. It seems the platform is stable, everything is working, so we should have a good presentation. Is there any questions? Anything you would like to reference, Video?
I'm not sure if we have so far, but I want to remind the audience that we have a nice interview with you about electronic trading. It's live now. I mean, it's online on Today's Software magazine, and yeah, that should clarify them, if they have questions. And also, I enjoy to ask you the question about, your tough interviews. Because usually people are hiring very quick these days, and it's nice to still have keep your standard up.
Yeah, it is. It's always a double-sided thing. Of course, you want to grow people, and you want to nourish, and you want to always have more. But you also have to give opportunity and challenge. Especially if you hire on a higher level, people have to find their ways in very quickly. They want to feel productive very quickly. It's not only our reflection; it's also what the employee wants to see and wants to experience in personal progression. So we're always limited by capacity. We grew. I was just discussing this with Luis. We certainly doubled in the last 4 years in terms of development size, and that comes also with strain of integration, onboarding. I think the investments on onboarding education are quadrupled just to keep it up. And of course, one of the major impacts of the pandemic was the missing link of seeing someone personal, especially in an interview scene, to understand how someone that doesn't really know the perfect answer would work himself into getting close to the perfect answer. We have a couple of standard, so to say, games also in our interview settings, where there is no mathematical answer, there is no right or wrong. It's just, how did you get there? And how much effort do you take to ask a question back? Which is, of course, we have over 35 different nationalities, a very difficult task. We have We have people that, you know, by nature, by education, wouldn't be confrontative at all. You know, asking them a reverse negative question doesn't work. So, you know, in these kind of settings, being limited to virtual is already difficult. In an interview setting, even more. And I can give you nice examples where we have a very simple question which you cannot even answer mathematically. And I even ended up once arguing with someone because he wanted to give me a mathematical answer, and he was confident he could. And I said, look, you know, it's what you can develop into, which is interesting. You know, if you, especially in electronic trading, you know, of course we use certain principles in Java, in C++ that are also used in the automotive industry. But when we come to parameters, market data, you know, we have an abundance of data. We actually struggle with performing the entire data into databases and then work of it. You know, these are things that might sound interesting, but they're tough to learn, and especially to collect the experience. So we always assume that it's more about the capacity than the current possibilities. You know, we do not struggle with the current possibilities. It's what lies beyond the current, which is interesting to us. And that, you know, you just sort of pick up. It's, you know, sometimes you're lucky and you get someone that really finds brilliant ideas and brings up new concepts, or finds the right solution for the problem, you know, which is sometimes just listen a bit more careful or think a bit different outside of the box. And I said, you can't fetch that kind of personality necessarily with tough questions only. You know, just as a bit of an insight, when we see more than thousands tests we have done, we seldomly have a superstar that has 70 or 80%. We're not looking for the 100% superstar. Because if I have a guy that has 90% right and gives me the perfect answers, you know, there is a certain expectation also that I might not even be able to deliver it. Whatever guy is brilliant and gets bored within a couple of weeks.
Agree. Yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then of course there's another very important factor is as I said, the possibilities to be given for someone to grow. I think as an employee you can never get enough. We said that before. On the other hand side, you have a certain responsibility, because you know if you just turn into machinery, it will reflect into your employership. Employees will identify. So yeah, either you're super top performer and everything is great, and then everything is fine for you. You know, we don't do it that simple, and we shouldn't. All right, I think.
Yeah.
Now let's see what we hired. I would like to say thank you for Luis again.
Yeah.
Luis,
oh boy.
And thank you, Chris. So let's move then to Luis. Okay.
Okay. Maybe two more words to Luis. I said Luis Teston is team lead Java Core. He has a couple of colleagues also in Cluj. And what I like the most, when I ask him, so what is the fascination for you and Java? Because you know this is the Java topic, I think a very interesting one. It was the slogan, write once, run everywhere. And yeah, so good luck with that. And hopefully you have a nice presentation. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Chris.